Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. We're on day 99, and I'm so excited for this milestone because on Monday, we're going to hit the century, we're going to enter the triple digits, and we are going to continue this momentum forward and just take it to a whole new level. And that's why today I wanted to take a few moments to reflect with you and to share with you some thoughts that I've had on these moments of achievement, no matter how big or small they are. The first thing is that I love celebrating them. Earlier, I didn't. Earlier, I would think, like, "Hey, you know what? It's just a small thing." In fact, there was a time when I made my world record feel like a small thing to me because I thought, well, anybody can do that, right? But now I've learned my lesson and I know whether the achievement is big or small, it calls for celebration, it calls for you to feel better, to grow, to achieve more. And I believe that's something we're all pretty good at. What we're not good at is the second slide, the second part that comes in after the celebration ends, and that's to keep the momentum and to keep the climb going. Because once the spotlights are off, once you're off the center stage, once your achievement has lost the, you know, charm and the joy and the sudden exhilaration that it holds the moment it hits you, after that, what you do matters the most. And that's the conversation I want to have with you today because success is not about reaching somewhere. Success is about elevating from that level too. And that's why when most people give their efforts, when most people take action, they do it till the 99th percent, but they don't take it to 100% because the numbers matching. That's why I thought, let's talk about this today. Let's address the score for why 99% is not enough in life and why that tiny 1% is where most of the magic is. Because I remember reading this beautiful quote by Warren Buffett. He's one of my favorite thinkers. He's somebody I admire the most by the way he leads his life and the magic he creates. And the most important thing there is that he said is this: the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. I'm going to repeat that again. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. And that's a lesson that has brought me here to this journey because I know for the longest time, one of the biggest things I struggled with was consistency. It's between me and God. How many things I've promised I would get consistent at, and then I never did. So I'm very happy and I'm very positive and very joyful about the fact that these sessions have happened till the number 99. And of course, I'm going to continue. And they've happened effortlessly. When I started in February, I didn't realize that it would happen so easily that I just show up, the conversations would get more flowing and easygoing, and yet they have. And when I look back, right, this is the core I recognize. I changed the way I looked at it. And for this 8:30 p.m. session, when I look at my whole life, I recognize how much I've actually just shifted around to make sure that this commitment doesn't get broken. And for that, have I said no to a lot of things? Yes, I have. Have I said no to things I absolutely loved doing before because this time was the one that fitted? Yes, I have. But I was clear on the commitment, I was clear on the priority. And that is the very first trait that takes you from the 99 to the 1%, from the 99th percent to the 100th percent. Because we're all very good at putting in efforts. We're all very good at showing up when it's easy, when it's comfortable, when it's easy going. But the people who make it big, the people who go from successful to really successful into the top 1%, the very first trait they have is this commitment which lets them say no to everything else. And the moment they do it, they become the best version of themselves. So if you've been struggling, if you've been kind of in the way about things, if you've not been seeing results, commit. Take a path, pick something, go all out. Yes, there's a risk, but there's also a reward. And the reward is that you move yourself from successful to really successful. And even if you fail, you gain the skill required to take yourself from just successful to really successful in life, to truly enter the top 10%, the top 1%, rather, I would say. Which brings me to the second important thing that takes us into the top 1%, which shows us also why just 99% is not enough. And that is clarity. I love this word. It's the word my entire business is built on. It's the promise of all the coaching that I do because I've seen this power there. When we are clear, we are sorted. When we are clear, we are aligned. When we are clear, life takes on a whole new form. And that's why I like to say, and that's why I truly believe this, that most of the times we're not confused. The confusion is just the robe, the veil that fear is wearing because we don't want to address the fear. If we ask ourselves the question, who would I be and what would I do if I wasn't afraid? Or who would I be or what would I do if the fears I'm having were all false? You'll be surprised at how quickly clarity comes into you, because it's not the lack of clarity that holds us back. It's the fears, it's the limiting beliefs, it's the subconscious programming, the challenges that make confusion feel like the easy escape and clarity feel like the hard thing to have. But the truth is this: clarity is the easiest thing to have. And really successful people, oh, they're absolutely clear on what they want, they're absolutely certain of the magic that they want to create in their lives. And that's why they go into the top 1%. Now, again, I'm not saying that the 99% or the people who just go till the 99th mark are not doing enough. I'd say they're working a lot harder. They're working a lot more with effort, with persistence, with that energy to really create big things, and yet they fail, yet they fall short of the mark. Because one, their commitment's not there, and two, they are not clear enough on the outcome they want. So it's not that they don't achieve the outcomes. You know what actually happens? If the outcome is here, they'll get this close to the outcome, and before they can touch the outcome, they'll raise the bar. Before they can touch the outcome, they'll raise the bar. Before they can touch the outcome again, they'll raise the bar. Before they can touch the outcome again, they'll raise the bar, and again and again and again. And the bar will keep raising, and the level of objective success in their life will also keep increasing. But they will continue to feel empty within, and they'll feel like, hey, you know what? Life's not worth it. Why? Because they've not built the clarity on what they want. A lot of people think it's just a buzzword, it's something that doesn't really matter. But think about it this way: if you don't know where you're going, you could have an unlimited supply of jet fuel, you could fly for unlimited hours, and still you'll never land in the destination you want. You'll only keep flying, 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 and you will end up someday just crashing. Whether you call it a quarter life crisis, whether you call it a midlife crisis, whether you call it a crisis triggered by a layoff, whether you call it a crisis triggered by a divorce, all of those things can turn from crisis and breakdowns to points of breakthrough, where comes in the third important skill that most successful people, really successful people, use to turn their negative moments into the most amazing ones. So first they commit, you know what, I'm done with this whole life. I want to be in the top 1%. I'm ready to commit to doing 100% and more. Then they build clarity. Okay, messes have happened in my life, challenges have come up. I've just been divorced. I've just lost my job. My business is in the ground. Now, what do I really want? In places where people operate from fear, where people operate from scarcity, really successful people, they think differently. They think, wait, you know what? I've got nothing to lose now. I can actually rebuild. I have the freedom to create the life I want. Yes, I have responsibilities for whatever may be there, but this breakdown can be my breakthrough. And that's why they jump into relentless focus. When most people break down, when most people get this close to success at 99% and then fall off, the biggest mistake they make is they go out and they talk and they complain and they bicker about their failures. And I'm not saying you don't have to process your emotions. I'm not saying you don't have to process the problems you're going through. Of course you do. That's what therapy, that's what coaching, that's what help. A lot of these things are for. That's what books are for. That's what diary writing is for. That's what calling up your friend for no reason at all is for. So do all of that, no doubt about it. But please don't make it a habit. We fail once, we ruminate on the failure for 6 months, for 12 months, for 2 years, for 10 years. I've seen people do that for a lifetime. And you don't want to be that person, because then you'll keep working, putting in the efforts, doing things, but then nothing will stick, nothing will sort out. So what really successful people do to turn their breakdowns into their breakthroughs is they create relentless focus. They are clear. Past is past, I can use it as a reference point, but my focus is going to be on the future I want to create. This is the best opportunity in the world. I've literally got nothing to lose, and I can build better, I can build stronger from here. You see, we assume, we make this mistake that most successful people don't have it hard, or they don't face challenges, or they don't face failure. Once they've built it, then they're sorted. No, the reason they've built it and maintained it is because even when they failed, they've been able to shift their focus, and they've been able to become relentlessly focused on the outcome they want, not on the past they want to avoid. So you won't find them sitting in circles and complaining. You'll never find them talking about how life has been unfair and how people have worked against them and how they are so stressed. No, they won't talk about that. They'll express their feelings, sure. They'll express their frustrations, sure, but they will take control of their trajectory, they will take control of their life. And when they do, they step into the fourth important point, the fourth important aspect that takes you from successful to really successful, from the 99% to the top 1%, and that is fast action. You see, ruminating over our failures is safe. The longer we feel guilty, the more easy it will be for us to just, continue to go down, to push ourselves into the mud, to do things that are not actually moving the needle forward, but just feel comfortable and safe. That's why I've noticed complaining and seeking pity is often one of the biggest ways people use to avoid action. They're scared. They are fearful. They don't want to take the risk. So rather than taking the risk, they'll just say, "Oh, so many bad things happened with me." Well, of course they did. Of course, if you're in that mindset, they're going to repeat. I'm not invalidating your pain, but again, I'm saying going through the experience once is enough pain, it's enough torture. Why are you reliving it for 6 months, for 12 months, for 2 years? When if you want to go from just successful to really successful, you change your focus and then you take fast action on that future vision, because action takers don't wait. Really successful people, they don't wait. The moment something clicks, they go all out. Why? Because they're not afraid of failure. And they know things are going to work out and things are going to be in their favor even if they fail once. And that's why the world's first trillionaire, Elon Musk, is someone I admire. I look at that man's dedication. Yes, some things may not be right in his life, but if you look at the way he approaches problem, the way he approaches business, the way he approaches being in the top, literally he's at the top of the world right now. That man knows how to focus and take fast action. He's not afraid of failure. He's not afraid that, what's going to happen. And he's not ruminating and he's not planning. He's doing. And that's where 98% of us are stuck. Either we plan so much that nothing happens, or then we take this principle out of context, we take action with absolutely no plan, and then we wonder, why are we stuck? Well, that's what the first few things of commitment, then clarity, then relentless focus are for. So when that is sorted and the direction is clear, then on that direction, nothing stops you and you keep taking faster and faster and faster action. Fast people, really successful people, have this ability to reset fast. Bad day, they reset. Bad moment, they reset. Bad conversation, they reset. Failed sales call, they reset. Breakup, they reset. Literally, I mean, they don't ruminate on that unnecessarily and create too much emotional drama for themselves. They get back to focus, they get back to work. Why? Because they have the fifth and the final most important trait that takes you from just successful to ultra successful and to really successful. And you may not expect this, but that trait is unconditional kindness for yourself and for other people. You see, we have this false image in our minds that success makes people cruel, success makes people treat others like garbage, success makes entitlement come true. No, I've seen people who are literal failures in their life, yet their entitlement is way higher than a billionaire's. So that's not the true factor. that success makes you entitled. No. If you are entitled, more success will make you entitled. If you are a humble and kind person, more success will make you more kind and more humble. And that's a belief I fundamentally follow, I fundamentally take action on, and I fundamentally give to each one of my clients, because punishment, guilt, shame, anger, they have never done anything. In the moment, fine. As a pattern, no. So even though it may seem like it's going to make you soft or it's going to make you weak, kindness is a superpower, my friend. Because in the moments when someone disrespects you to your face, and you can just pause, and as you're pausing, rather than giving a reaction, you can just have a smile of kindness on your face. You terrify the person who's just disrespected you, because in that moment, by choosing to not react, you've taken your power back. And what really successful people have is power. And that power comes from kindness, because when you are kind to yourself and you're kind to others, you no longer look for validation. You become the best version of yourself. Life feels like play, work feels like play, and then you get all into the game and you commit 100% with clarity. From that clarity rises your relentless focus, fueled by fast action and unconditional kindness that meets you at every step of the way. And you have a formula for getting into the top 1%. This has been a wonderful journey, talking with you, being here for every single one of these live sessions. And now that this 99th and 100th session, I am having that happy joy feeling, I'm also already off the spotlight, and I'm thinking, how can we make this even more valuable? So if you have some suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll have a look. We'll make these sessions even better, even more powerful for you. But I hope today was helpful to recognize that when you are at the top, when you've achieved something, or even when you haven't, how you can continue being in the top 1%. Quick summary: focus on commitment with clarity, have relentless focus that's backed by fast action and is met by unconditional kindness, regardless of success or failure. And you have the formula for being in the top 1%. Apply this over the weekend, see how you can make this a part of your life. And I'll see you once again on Monday. That's at 8:30 p.m. IST for the 100th session. Let's go. Let's take this journey even further and make it even more magical. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm honored every single day that I get to do this. I think how lucky and privileged I am that this opportunity comes my way. And I hope I've been able to add value to you in the same way as well. I'll see you soon on Monday. Bye. Thank you so much.